So good morning. We'll do it in English.
Yes.
I'm honored to introduce my mother-in-law. I'm married to Marta's son.
I am
For-
Marta Schmidek. Yes, I am mother for two, 6 grandchildren, and 17, God bless them, great-grandchildren. So hi, Guy, and shalom. You listen what I said, because every word what you could hear from me is 100% happened with me. I was 17 years old when this happened, because I born in a countryside in Hungary, about 60 kilometers for the capital of Budapest. And next to the country when I born, it was a big city, 30 kilometers. It has big Jewish congregation, about 1,000 family. They have 2 Yeshiva, Jewish high school, and two rabbi, one Orthodox and one not conservative. So I born in a small country. The village when I born, it was a Christian population, about 600 persons. We was the only Jewish family in the village. From beside me, I have a sister and a brother, 1 year each other. We have a very lovely, beautiful family life. Very lovely parents, and they give us all the love what is possible. When we start to grow, because it was no Jewish around us, the holidays we went to the grandparents for Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, and all the important holidays. And when we reach the 3-4 years old, they bring us and a young Jewish girl who teach us for pray, davening, and about the Jewish law for up to the age. When we reach the 6th year, the school year, we must go to the public school in the village. The village have only one teacher and about 60, 70 pupils, but we was the only Jewish kids, the 3 of us. We have a very good relationship with the children. Shabbat, we don't have to go to the school. And the same with my parents, the village, the families and the population, everyone give big respect for my father, and it was a very, very close and nice relationship. Give a lot of respect for my father. If they need something, they come to me. I have to tell you what my father did. It was a 400-acre field, and the field, we make a farm. With him work other 5 Christian family to help him to take care. And beside that, we have at home for my mother, for a babysitter, and a young Christian boy who helped take care for the water, the heating system, because it wasn't like today, just you press the gas and you have everything what you need. So we went to the school till when we reached the 10, 11 years old. because after my parents, they don't want to continue there, the school. They send me to the next city, what I mentioned, 30 kilometers west, when they have a nice high school, Jewish high school, very, very high level, excellent teachers, the rabbi who take care the Hebrew lesson, whatever you have to know about the religion. There we've been there 4 years in the village. We have to traveling by bicycle. It was no transportation. They teach us when we was 4 years old to bicycle. That was the only way we could communicate to traveling. And when we finished the high school, my father was an excellent farmer, you know how to do it. And besides that, we have in the farm 10 horses, 12 cows, and 300 sheep. And this, what my father made the living. For the milk every day, the milking, not my father, for the workers, for his supervision, and we send 100 liters to Watts, to the next, then the big Jewish congregation, kosher milk, just go every day. And we have a very quiet, nice life. But when they reach 1941, everything changed. The children, when I went to school, they was nasty. They was calling me Joe. They don't hurt me, but they was absolute terrible. And the same happened with my father. All the friends who used to be friends, they ignore. And after 1941, every day, every week, every month, a new Jewish law came. Number one, I have to send away the Christian workers. They can't work it for us. So slowly, we was alone. But beside that, before, I forgot to tell you, my father was in the first war, 4 years, fighting with the Hungarian army in Russia. And when we came after the war, when she married, they let him keep the gun because he was a
He was a respected veteran of the army.
okay.
No, not an officer, but he was. He got some kind of a medal. He was a big hero in the army.
Yeah, and after the Jewish law came more, first he called him for 3 months to the army because he was a young man. But after 3 months, they discharged him because they said he is not honest and not trustful for the country. They take away the gun. And when this happened, he don't understand exactly how could this happen. We was young kids and we just watching my father, what happened with him. We don't understand why. I said, so what? You give back and that's all. We don't understand exactly how he feels. And after 3 months they sent me home, and in the meantime we finished the high school in the city, and we want to study more, but Joe can't go higher education anymore. So they teach us, give us for a dressmaker, for a woman who teach us, me and my sister. But because my father went to army, we have to come home to help you, my mother. So the life started to be very hard. And 1941, my brother went to finish the high school, and I met there with my husband. I was young, and we started to be friends, and after a year we married, still in my parents' house. I was that time 18, and that was 1942. And in 1943, after 3 months when we married, they took him to the labor camp. All the men, all the Jewish men. We stay home only women and children and old people. So I was home alone. I started to work something because I wanted to make some living. And when this happened, started to be 1944. In March, the German occupied Hungary. And all the very strict law came everywhere in the country, not just for us. They take away the store, they can go to the college, they can go, and we have to put on the yellow star, every Jewish person. Because I was alone, I traveling to Budapest to work, and one day I came home, and a young Christian boy came, went first to me. Of course, the sale was on. I don't know him because the city, it was more people. And he saw me, and the mouth was full of spit, sunflower, and come to me straight without a word and spit to my face. You know what happened without me? I was freezing. I was lost. I know something happened here. I can't ask anybody help. So from that time, we just don't know, can't understand what's going to happen. After maybe 2 months later, they come out alarm. All the Jews have to go to the ghetto. So they make a ghetto in the city. The Christians have to move out in a certain area for the city. And the Jewish families have to move in. They give me freedom only to 2 hours a day to go to shopping. Otherwise we can go on the street. For me, because they're asking if somebody know how we're sewing, they let me go for a tailor who working in the army uniform. So they let me go out for a couple of hours to work there. Let's go maybe not even 2 weeks. We don't know. First of all, when we went to the ghetto, I asked the police, give me a permission. I want to go to my parents. There was the other ghetto, but they don't give me. I was alone and there was the other ghetto. But since then, we don't know each other. We don't know what happened. With them, they don't know what happened to me. 2 weeks later, I came home from the war. I find a card, a postcard, open. Still today, I can't understand how can I get this card. It was my father's handwriting. No title, just run and hide. I don't want you happen with you what happened with us and the whole family. They put us for a wagon. 80 person, so they full, and me and my brother, they take out for the last minute before they close the wagon. And you young, you must to try to survive. Hide, try to help. He mentioned two Christian friends who was with him in the first war. Maybe they could help you, but don't go to the wagon. 2 weeks later, I come home. The police standing every entrance in the apartment, and they give me 48 hours order to pack. You could take with you 50 kilo if you have suitcase. If not, you use the big sheet and put all the belong to you. You could take with you all the jewelry, your food, whatever you want. And after tomorrow we come to pick you up. No information where, what. I have the letter. What can I do? Before, when I get the letter, I look around in the neighborhood, next to neighbors. Where is a place I could hide? It was a very good friend of mine, the same age, and she said, the father came to say us goodbye. And when I showed my letter the first time to my father friend, a very religious Hasidic man, Marta, don't do nothing. Shem is Bora gonna help. But I said, Mr. Papa, if my father give me this idea, this almost order to run and hide, I must to do it because I know him. So I said, okay. And 2 weeks later, when they came, they said goodbye. The nose we took us. I said, take my daughter with you. But we don't know place. We have no idea. I packing for a little handbag. It's what they're using in the countryside for straw. And I have a Hungarian uniform. I put it on. I wear the shaitli and make a ribbon in my hair. And I said, we look something. So the night before, I find for the next building, a little building, when they used to use like a maxan, but a small building with a little attic. Even they used to take the chickens, they go up, if you see with maybe movie picture. So I figure out we go up for about 2 meters high, the small attic, and we're gonna hide in there. We stay. We don't go with them. We're sitting there. We heard the noise. My friend said, I want to go back one more to give a kiss for my little brother. They have 8 children, and the mother passed away for a year ago. For her, it was very hard to say goodbye. I was alone. She left. I fell to sleep. I wake up. I was alone. She never come back. Okay? That was the first day. Through the roof, I put on the side the platter, and I see what happened. They carried them with the bag, with the sheet, exactly when you see now in the picture. So I said, what's going to happen with me? I am here. I have no idea where do I go. Go there? No, I don't want to go there like this. No. I can't decide that. No, I don't want to go like this. I stay. Passed one more night, and the following day they started collecting the Jewish belonging what we left in the house. I know I can't send, it was no food. I must to go down. So when the night came, I went down from the attic, and it was a gate that went to the street. The gate, it was high. It was nothing I could step up. I still don't know how I had strength to go up for this gate and jump through to the street. I watched it before. In the corner, it was a guard checking because they wanted the people go installing. So exactly when I jumped, I was on the street, and straight for the building, it was a narrow street. We went to the main road, main street. I stop again. I go this way, I go this way. Middle of the night, dark. Even dark, because sometimes they have that time already for the English and the American start bombing. I said, I have a name, a Christian woman who came to visit my friend. And this woman used to work for them, and they give them nuts to clean, and they selling. So only once I see the girl, her name it was Julia. I said, that's the only thing that come to my mind. I try to find Julia. But I don't know where she live. I don't know the street name. I don't know name, only that Julia. And I know it was outside in the city. I start to walk. Suddenly I see a man in the corner, and I stop him. He has two iron to make noise. It was no other, how you call it?
Bells?
Yeah, who let the people know that somebody want to run to the
Siren. Instead of a siren,
yeah,
he made this noise.
It was no sign, so this man make a noise. And let the people in the neighborhood to go whatever for the cellar, for outside when the plane come in. And I stopped him. I said, gentlemen, could you please tell me where is Julish living, Julia? He don't ask what you doing, a young woman on the street, middle of the night. He don't ask why, but he pointed the next street corner. It was a very poor neighborhood. He said, you see, this is the house when Julia lived. I go to the gate, very, very poor wood gate, and they're knocking. And Julia came out. He opened the door, and he take a look at me. He don't know my name. He said, you escape. I said, Julia, yes. You figure out how do I look after 2 days in the attic. She said, come in. So she let me go in the house. A widow with a small child. They have 2 rooms. She was very poor. The other room, it was empty. She said, I drop you a blanket, you lay down, I lock you there, because the other room, my old father and my son sleeping. Don't supposed to move till in the morning when my son go to the school and my father go to work. In the morning she bring me some food, and what can we do? Said, Marta, I try to help you, but I have the two person with me. Second one is a small neighborhood, and a very, very strict law. If anybody help or hiding a Jew, is go the same place with the wagon. So they was frightening. You stay here one night, and we try to go. One of my father's friend who was together with the army, live in the same city, and in the morning, in the evening, we go there. Maybe he has some idea. Maybe they could help. But in the meantime, when he left, she left the house, the yard. She don't want to stay in the house because she worried the wagon staying in the station 3 days. And it was a news, some 3 Jews escaped. So she afraid maybe they're coming checking. She took me in the backyard. It was a big digging hole. They used to use it this the winter for save carrots, potato, because it was no frigidaire. A deep
Hole in the ground.
yeah, under the ground, still here. And she said, you go down, and I have a wood dish, a big dish, what they used to wash the laundry that time. I cover you, and you stay there till when you're coming back. In case, if they find you, I don't know nothing. So she was covered. I went alone. She came back, and the night we went to see my father's friend. He saw right away what happened. He said, Marta, you could stay here one night, but we can't help you. But I have an idea. To my cousin coming from Budapest to visit me, and I introduce you like you come from the village, because I look like the dress, special. And she'd never go to Budapest, she don't know how to buy the ticket. Could you please buy the ticket for them, for her? And she go with you to Budapest. So next morning, I went with the 2 girls, with my pocketbook, no paper, no nothing. We arrived. Budapest is a big station. 100 people is coming to work every day. And when you check the entrance to the outside, it was the worst police group station for checking every single person for like a total some personal paper. I standing line here. An old gentleman was front of me, and he saw I am looking in my pocketbook, but I know I have nothing. When I reached the man, the police, the security, I said, gentleman, what you doing with me? I forgot my paper home. He said, you don't look like a Jew. Go. I was in Budapest, in the city, alone again. But that time, the Budapest Jew, it was still there. They don't touch them, not that time. That was about July. So, because I know Budapest, I went to the Jewish Center to find out what can we do. He said, if you stay here, they're afraid because you have to report every person to the janitor who live in the building. I said, don't you have any Christian friend, because I told the story, who could help? I said, yeah, I have some other friends outside Budapest. I take up the,
Yellow
of course,
Star.
I take up the Star, and I want to see them. They was very nice to me, and was very close friend. He said, Marta, we could do something. We have a neighbor the same age when you, and we're gonna buy the paper, the birth certificate, some paper, and you leave for her name, a fudge paper. So they bought it for me. And for that paper, I moved, I could move a little bit in the city. It was a few times very dangerous. I traveling in the streetcar, the Villamos, and some young man, when I heard, come to me, said, Marta, you are, this is this. I said, no. How could you insult for me like this? He said, because I remember you was a young girl, I worked to your father. I said, no way, you make a mistake, don't insult, because I called the police. So he ran away. And the other time, I standing in the station, waiting the train. The other man come to me. Many people came from the, when it was the ghetto, that was a small city, they know each other. Maybe he saw me there. A police come to me. He said, could you show your paper? I said, why, what you want from me? Somebody sent me here to you. You're a Jew. I said, how could you insult for me? Please, leave me alone. And the first train I jumped and I left. This was the summer 44. And I was on the street, I stayed with my friend. It was the government change, it was much easy for the Jew. I went back to the Jewish section to watching babysitting, and we find out my brother about the camp, and they come to visit me, and they said that my cousin had a bigger apartment, very happy to take me there for one room, because there they have to put people together, they can't leave alone the family. So I moved to there, to old people, but the condition was, if I throw away, destroy it, the fudge paper. I said, yes, Tante Otil, I do. Don't take only 1 month maybe, I stay there, but I put the paper in the hem in my skirt. October 15, 44, the government changed. The pressure for the Nazi, they took the most terrible leaders for the top. The government, there was all the law, everything is changed, no protection. It was, I am sure you heard for Wallenberg. Did you hear Wallenberg story? He worked in Budapest, and he tried to ask many Swede papers to protecting this. They are a Swede citizen. They have different title. Some other country too. They tried, but when the terrible government came, everything was none. It was no more value. So I went back to my friend who was so good for me, and he said, you don't go nowhere anymore, very dangerous, because they attack the Jew, they carry to the Donau to shut them.
To the river.
Whatever they reach. all the youngsters have gone, the Nazi, the Hungarian Nyilas, they took on the street. One of the group, because it was no more train, they started collecting between 40 and 20 the people, and they start to let them walk to the main highway to Budapest to Vienna. And that was in November, December, very cold. So they said, no, you stay with us till when, let's see what happened. In the same time, the front started moving. The German
Starting to
tried
lose and go
holding
back.
Budapest, but the Russian coming much closer. So it was a terrible war between till when they captured Budapest. They almost destroyed it. They blew up 5 beach was between Budapest is 2 parts, Buda and Pest. Yeah, the Donau running there. So in January 10, the place when I lived outside was captured from the Russia. And I stayed there till when they captured the whole city. It was absolute destroyed. And February, when was over the fight, the Russia started to organize, and I don't know exactly what happened because I wasn't in the center. February, I went to the Jewish section, find a few youngsters who survived. And we decided that we leave Budapest, it was no food, nothing. We walking to my city, 30 kilometers, then original I came. So we went February. In the meantime, I don't know anything for 2.5, almost 3 years, what happened with my husband. They took him to Russia, Ukraine. So I came back to the Vats when I came, and the Jewish youngsters, they occupy one of the empty houses, and they start to collecting food, they start to cook. And the next day somebody called me, Marta, somebody looking for you. It was my husband. Came home. Only one person in the family. And we was married, so we have 2 children. And later on 6 grandchildren and 17 great-grandchildren. That's why I am here. You know, the story is much, much longer, but I can't go every detail. Many things happened with me, but it was a miracle.
You ready for them to ask you questions?
Yeah, anybody want to ask me?
Questions?
Tell the story of how you actually got out
From where to where?
from Hungary, how they left Hungary.
How they left Hungary?
Yeah.
They left in 1956. They stayed in Hungary after the war. And they had to escape again from the communists, so it was another escape.
That's
You want to talk about 1956?
Yes, so
But
we
first, it's the Holocaust Day. Any questions about the Holocaust that you want to ask?
Do you ever
So
go?
we stayed there because I got married. The youngsters came home and some married. I remember I was the only woman. In middle of the December, it was very cold. Okay, they are grown-ups. They know the Jewish law. They want to marry. So they called me for the young Yeshiva boys who came home to break the ice in the mikveh, and they make a big container hot water, throw it to the top. And because I was the only woman, I have to go for the young bride to go to the mikveh. It was so cold. I remember She walked in and I can go, want to jump out. I forked the hair, I said, here, 2, 3, now you could go. It was totally wedding. But the youngsters, most of them, they went to Israel. They came to Israel when they married.
In
and a few
1946?
couple came home. So after the war, maybe, I don't think so, it was more than 6, 7, 10 Jewish kids. And after a year, we can't go live anymore because the Russia don't give permission to leave the country. So after a year.
Question.
What was life like after the war till 1956 when you were able to get out? What was it like living in that town?
What was the life after? We're in Budapest, in Hungary.
Yeah.
How we started the new life. It was terrible. It was no food. It was no organized take, at least. Maybe
What was your relationship with the Christian community there?
I can't hear you.
How did the neighbors
No.
act to you
Oh, the
after
neighbors
the
when we
war?
came home?
The people in the city.
We was lucky, but I heard something. Some people, we went back to the house when we used to live, and there was nice people. They said, Marta, we give you 1 room. The same apartment where we used to live. They have 2 rooms, the kitchen. We give you 1 room temporarily till when we find something to move. So we stay in this room. But many people who did it, they said some people was surprised. One of the neighbors asked, we was sure you are not coming back. Some people said later they come back more when they left. It's up to what kind of people are. They don't help so much. But after when more Jewish organizing, more nature leaders came home who surveyed someplace, they started collecting the Jews to make a small congregation, about 100. Some came to Israel, some stayed there. And we, fortunately, we can't leave because we have the 2 babies. The illegal, they left, many through Slovakia. But a few couples stuck there. But when it happened, my husband was originally a gym teacher. So he got a job, he started to work in the communist regime. It was very hard, very, very small salary. And when
And he got a job, you moved to Budapest.
yes, so okay.
You started life in a big city.
This happened a couple of years. You try many times to permission, don't leave anyone. I am sure you heard what happened in 1956, the Hungarian Revolution, when they can't take it anymore for the pressure for the Russia. Because Russia took every value what he left, not too much left, because first the German took it, all the value, museum, antique, whatever. But after the Russia, and the youngsters, the students, college students, start the revolution, and they organized, they got some help, I think so, outside, and it was a fight, a war. In that time, the Russia who watching the border all the time, the beginning they don't know exactly what they want to do. If they let them go, the Hungary free, or they can't stop them. So they're fighting back. But for a week, the border was empty. And that time I packed with my husband and the 2 8 years old 10 years old child. Middle of the night, we went to the Austria border, that is the Hungarian border, and we find a man for money who show how you have to go to Austria. In middle of the night, all the 100 people, this man show us in December, very cold. We have only one outfit because we can't carry too much. And we reach a point when it was a small river, but the Russians they blow up the bridge. So they leave only one piece of desk. And the guy said, I can go more, but the other side, the little river, you're Austria, you're saved. But when you go there, you go up straight and you be inside the first village, Austria. But till when this happened night, the 100 people, we don't know exactly which way. Tired, they don't understand. So they start to fight. And once somebody said, we're going to freezing, we make a fire. You know, the corn, when they're cleaning, they have the leaves, and this they make a fire. So suddenly they see top of the hill, big trucks coming. The people was hysteric. So I told you, they're coming. When they come a little closer, it was Austria uniform. They know that people is coming, refugee, and they come to pick up the woman and the kids. So we was in Austria. So twice we made it.
But you twice escaped. The first time they were caught, a few days before that, and they were put in prison. And they decided to try it again, the second time. And my father-in-law sold his shoes because there was not enough money left. And he paid the guy again with his, instead of, with his good shoes. And he took them over, and that was the second time.
And you have to learn. Doesn't matter which country. That's what I feel, not just experience. That's what I feel. They're very nice to you. They give you respect. They use you. They accept your help. They're happy when you build. But God forbid, something happen. Who is the first? The Jew. So if you want to be
Safe.
saved, one place only, Israel. That you have to know. I know, because your parents, not everybody feel the same way, but no other place when you feel like a human, you're a mensch. Other place, nothing. I was born like a Hungarian. I was the best student in the holiday when they have to represent the nation. I have a special poem. The only Jewish girl have to stand in the podium and tell, ever. And now only don't need that too much when they turn. And the best friend and the best neighbor, there was nothing.
There's a question.
When did you leave Europe?
Where are we?
When did you leave Europe? 1956? At the time of the revolution against the communists, there was a balagan.
1956. 1956.
What did I say? 56.
That's
And
all
from
I
there,
Budapest.
And where did they go? They were saved by Austrian people who knew that there was,
It wasn't easy.
they were freedom fighters, and they even went around the border to find all these refugees, and they brought them to Austria. From Austria, they were taken by boat, they were helped by the Joint, and they were taken by boat to Canada, all the refugees. And they went to Canada, lived in Canada for a short time, and immigrated from Canada to New York.
We want to go first to New York, but the United States grows the quota. Every country gives a certain amount, for the Hungary refugee. So they want to free Switzerland, French, other Europe. I don't want to stay Europe. I said far away for the communist regime too. It was terrible. And we tried to go to the Canadian and they accept us. So 10 days we was in Halifax with a sheep. It
They
was
started
very
their life in the free world. Because until then, with the Holocaust and with the communists, they were oppressed.
And thank God, because my parents teach me to sewing, I could make a living in Canada right away. My husband was a teacher. We don't, that time the English was not our,
He had no language. He couldn't
but
talk.
he picked up very fast and started teaching for the new Hungarians English. But the living was very, very low. The salary, the
The income?
Pay. Yeah. One girl who working piecework. I went to the union. One skirt, they paid me 60 shekel, 6 Canadian, piecework. So how much you produce, how much you get. So the first time, it was a Jewish owner, a big company. So it doesn't matter how much you made, $20 we guarantee. And but the girls, some Italian and Greece refugees who have no education, no language, just cleaning, cutting the cotton, they pay 50 cents for a 1 hour. So it was very, very hard. So that time, my husband, we have a friend in America, and one of the Yeshiva, they hired him like a gym teacher, a modern. So like a teacher, it was a special quota. So he get the permission to go with the green card. And he worked not too long there, but he was there. And after half a year, the family, they left to join us. So we went to United States, to Brooklyn.
Anybody here from Borough Park?
And we,
Anybody from Brooklyn?
I was born in Brooklyn,
You were born where? In which neighborhood?
Lee Avenue, Williamsburg.
He's from Williamsburg.
which one?
He
Yeah,
is.
Williamsburg. Near, Chofetz Chaim Yeshiva was there.
Do you know Chofetz Chaim Yeshiva?
Tarvadas,
Which one?
Yeah.
Tarvadas, Chofetz
Tommy
Chaim.
went Torah Vadas.
The Hodas
Torah Vadas
Torah Vadas.
Yeshiva.
in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yeah.
Well, I think your father
Vadas.
studied
In
there.
Williamsburg.
Oh,
Williamsburg.
girl.
Williamsburg.
You know Torah Vadas Yeshiva in Williamsburg? Well, it sounds very familiar to me.
Ah,
Well, I came as an Israeli. I met her son in Israel, but
My
he was a
son
yeshiva
went to-
bocher. So
My son, her husband went to the Berlin.
To?
Berlin Yeshiva.
Chaim Berlin.
Chaim Berlin.
Chaim Berlin.
That was in
Rafutna is Yeshiva,
Farakove.
Rafutna.
The Farakove.
Ah.
Yeah.
And what language did you speak to your children in the house?
And in that time, it was a big congregation for the Satmar,
Oh, Satmar.
the Satmar Rebbe.
Satmar's in Williamsburg.
Yeah. And Young Israel, it's a big
Ah.
congregation, very, very rich. And but now later, when last time went back from Williamsburg, the Hasidim moving to Borough Park. So now it's Williamsburg and Borough Park is a lot.
they're asking what language you spoke at home with your children.
For the beginning,
No?
the beginning, when we came to Canada, went to the elementary school. We arrived January. and we went to Montreal. This is a short story how the refugee organization want to send me to Winnipeg, and it was a doctor with us who knows more around. He said, Marta, Winnipeg, don't go, there is no Jew. I see you are religious. So he found the telephone number. He knows more. Montreal had a cousin, second cousin. We could call him up and tell you are here. So we went to the organization for the transport, and he said, we don't want to go Winnipeg because a cousin of us come to the station when we ride Montreal and we get off. I said, you could do it, but you lost all the benefits what a refugee gets. I said, okay. We're traveling 2 nights from Halifax to Montreal by train.
And he came to
and
pick
he
you
was
up?
there and he picked up. So she
Sure.
Question.
Did you ever find any more of your family other than your husband after the Holocaust?
no, I can't hear.
Did you ever find anybody from your family after the Holocaust?
Not a close family, some cousin. My father, my close family, nobody.
She's
My-
the only survivor,
I am
but she does have a few cousins. Either went illegally to Israel before the war, so they survived, or a few of them survived the work camp or concentration camp.
How many? Even the cousin together?
Not
more
many.
than 10? Sure,
More than 10 cousins?
not more than 10.
No, less. And they were all very big families, but most of them didn't survive.
I am the last one in the family. Life.
Did you ever know how your father got you that letter?
No, but she knows how he died, which is a very
My
sad
father,
story.
for my father, I heard the last one, you know when my one cousin came back after when the
Back to the
Russia
village when they all came back.
liberated to the city. I was home already with my husband, and he told me the story. He was with my father for the labor camp, and when the Russia came, the Nazi schlepped them, tried to take them to the west, to Vienna, and he asked. They was very close to the city, let to get out. It wasn't a very strict anymore. The police slowly they disappeared. But he said, I must go, this is the rule. They went till the border, Austria. And from there, one of men came back. He said he was with him, and in February, beginning February, it was typhus, no food, frozen, and one of these three, he passed away.
They ate too fast and they had typhus.
But where?
Most
no
of them died from
information.
eating too fast once they got the food.
After the war, later, I was the babies. The Budapest started to organize the mass graves to bring it home, the bodies. And because he told me which name, but I was just give birth, and they asked if somebody want to come to Budapest to checking if you find some paper or something, but they don't. My husband don't let me go because I just give birth for the baby. But I know where and the date.
They know the date he died, and there is a graveyard for I don't know how many hundreds of people
And
together with the
Budapest,
names.
yes.
So his name, and also his
My cousin.
Maya Dochili Bishvilo. He died together with his nephew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Budapest, a big cemetery. They have a.
There is a question there.
My husband, he was in a camp. He was sent to a camp.
labor. He was working for the Nazis for 4 years or 3.5
But
years.
then he came to Budapest. How did he get there? How did you find him?
He walked slowly, like she walked from wherever they got to Budapest to the city, and they walked the 30 kilometers to their village. They all thought whoever has survived would probably think to go back to look for other survivors, and that's how it happened. And the day after she came, he arrived. So you could all ask her if she believes in miracles, and she will tell you for sure.
So I was 19.
מה?
That
כן,
was the
אבל
second.
הוא היה במחנה עבודה באוקראינה בהתחלה, אני לא יודעת איפה זה היה בסוף, אבל אפו came from Ukraine,
Apo?
yeah, at the
Ukraine.
end, from Ukraine,
Yeah, Ukraine.
אז שלחו אותם איכשהו לבודפסט. לא, he didn't walk from Ukraine by foot.
No, but
From Budapest he walked. Apu walked by foot from Budapest or from someplace else?
To work?
No, when Apu walked to Vats, he walked by foot
Of course.
from where?
From whenever the Russia moved, when the German moved, because the Russia pushed them.
Yeah, so
It was lucky because many people who wasn't fast enough, the Russia captured them, and many they take them to work. They don't care if a Jew or not Jew.
they right away
I
wanted
heard.
them to work, not to go home.
So he walked all shores all the way to
From
work.
Ukraine? Not from
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Not one stop. The group,
Yeah.
when the Nazi lost the war, they started to move. So they came with them.
Okay. They probably had army
So
trucks or
terrible.
whatever, and they slowly, they pushed away the Germans and they got closer.
It was no order anymore.
Yeah.
Did you see movie what happened with the German army in Russia? You never see.
You-
They miscalculated, they don't know in Ukraine and Russia. It's a very cold country and they wasn't prepared, like Napoleon. He lost the war too because Hitler.
היא מדברת יידיש?
היא?
כן.
לא ממש, למה? מה אני יכולה לתרגם?
סליחה, את אומרת.
נו. You speak Yiddish?
Bissel.
הביסל.
If I met with Russian people, here not that often, sometimes in America, because some Russians, they came to America too. And was so happy when I said the Bissel.
So that's about what she knows, because in Hungary, not too many people spoke Yiddish.
The second language
Jews in
was
Hungary, in Poland, and in Germany, all the other places, yes, but not in...
Not Russia.
Ma?
Not Russia.
Not,
Russia.
not in Hungary.
Oh, not-
That's
oh,
why
not
at
Hungary.
home, she never
Hungary.
heard Yiddish.
No, really, wow. No.
No. Yes.
How many languages do you speak?
How many languages do you speak?
For me,
Yeah.
the English and the Hungarian and the Jewish people.
She lives in Israel for כמה שנים, תמה? 30, no, אני בת 42, פחות 5, 37 years, but she doesn't speak
And
a
the
word of
Hebrew.
Hebrew.
I tell you something. Hebrew, maybe because some people have a very easy to pick up foreign language. And I remember even in the high school, the second language was German. And I have to study 3 times more than the other subject, and was an excellent student. Because, and it wasn't I don't know, high education, just a level. And 3 times more I have to study, be sure my report card will be okay. So, and when we came here, the English and the Hungarian, Natanya, very good. So it was fun.
Sometimes the skills of survival is much stronger than the skills of studying languages, and she's doing in Israel much better than us. She knows all the bus numbers, she knows how to get from place to place a lot better than all of us with the Hebrew and with the fact that we were born here. She's a very unbelievable
But
survivor.
I managed. Office, passport, whatever you go.
She knows
Bank.
everybody in Kupat
I manage.
Cholim, every place you need to know somebody.
Somebody, but now more and more speak in English in Israel. But before, if somebody don't understand me, I said, please bring somebody who speaks English. That's all. There was no problem.
You want to show them something from the book that was made?
I managed everything alone.
You want to show them something from the book?
Yeah.
No.
You want to a little bit?
No, but I know what you like to
I
show. So you choose the picture that you say is your victory over the Nazis, right? What do you say? Whenever there is another child born in the family, she says, "We win. This is my victory over the Nazis." You want to show them the family of how many people you have after you? It doesn't matter. They will believe.
And then
What is
You
that?
can tell us
I
what the
want
book
to
is.
show you.
This book was written for her 90th birthday. Her memories. Yeah.
That's one when I escaped. I was 19. 19. With a Hungarian uniform. And the red ribbon. And somebody hold my hand. There's no question. There's no question. A normal, plain human, you can do that. It was not an accident.
I'm sure you all debate this subject, how people survive the Holocaust and what their belief becomes after that. So her belief just got much, much stronger because she believes God took her step by step by step. You have met other people who feel differently. But her belief became much, much stronger in God, right?
But the other version, especially in Canadians, they have a lot of Lubavitchers. America too, here too.
Here too, right.
And
Here too.
and
גם בישיבה יש לה.
פה?
They-
יש לכם פה
some
לובביצ'ר?
excuse.
Who is?
לובביץ'.
Regards, I was just there about 4 days ago.
In
And
New York?
Okay.
and they
Seven, seven?
find
The second day of Pesach, I was
was
looking
excuse
for the
not
house,
to come
really.
to Israel. Lubavitch, he let to study here, and he helped. But he said, don't have to be a Jew, only one place.
And we don't believe it.
We don't believe.
We don't believe it, that you should have
And
Jews
they
all
were
over
there.
the world. No, even, I mean,
Well, they're coming back.
believes.
They're coming
מה?
back. They're coming back. כל היהודים חוזרים, לאט לאט.
תו לאט, יותר מדי לאט. אנחנו צריכים אותם פה.
טיפה, טיפה.
It's better than
Anything
Any
else?
other questions?
Wait, I have another. How many generations are alive right now? Family.
We got 3 right here.
In her family, I'm the daughter-in-law. She is my nephew's bride, so she's like a granddaughter-in-law, and she's a granddaughter.
Is there a 4th generation?
Uh,
Or is it-
Yeah, of
Yeah, there
course.
is.
My children have children.
So
I have
is-
grandchildren, so how many generations does this make?
Yeah, 4. Okay.
4,
Yeah,
Who put that book together?
my sister-in-law.
The one from Budapest?
Yes, there was a Hungarian writer who came here and interviewed her and wrote the book.
Did Steven Spielberg
Yes,
interview her?
yes. I must tell you something about Steven Spielberg and other people. About 10 years ago, I thought, what are we going to do with the subject of the Holocaust? It's going to end because this generation is disappearing and nobody else. I mean, we still heard all the stories from first source and we feel very much that it has to be told, but what's going to be with your generation? And I thought it was going to be lost and felt very bad about it. But it really became back to life with people like Steven Spielberg, who sent teams from America all over the world, a lot of them in Israel, to interview these people. And then with the movie Holocaust, Shoah. And all of a sudden, there's a movement that's growing from underneath, from, I don't know, natural. It's just growing that for the last 6 years, people are inviting Holocaust survivors to their house. And it's called, you know about this thing? It's called Zikaron Basalon. memory in your living room, and you bring a person and he's just coming to the living room, and people looking in the internet, like my daughter says, she looked last night, where is there a living room open with a survivor that I could go and listen to someone? And I went to one last night too. And I think this is very, very strong, intimate, and it gives you a very, very personal feeling, and you, like you had now, I'm sure, and this stays with you. Once you know one person, you feel more than the numbers. 6 million Jews have perished. So now the movement is really growing, and we feel that the memory is going to go on, which is very important.
And this boy all from America?
All from America. Yeah.
And what is this program?
Canada.
Canada.
One from Canada.
Oh yeah. Well.
And they're happy here? You're happy here?
Baruch Hashem. Most of them come back next year.
You have Israeli parents?
No.
Where are your parents from? You look Israeli. When I saw you coming in, I thought, oh, an Israeli boy from the street came in.
Morocco.
Morocco?
Yeah.
Not far.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that you came to speak to the boys. I know that
Help something.
I know them. I know they enjoyed it, and we hope that your family gets to enjoy being with you and hearing more about it for many, many more years.
We hear many
Thank you.
stories, but they never find somebody who in life.
We have there's still a few people that are.
Any of you are descendants to survivors? You have grandparents that you know? That you
My great aunt.
No, they're
Your
Americans.
great aunt.
She doesn't